everyone, it's Misty here. Thank you so much for joining me. Hey, hi, hello, welcome to update. I guess this is the end of the month update for my 100-pound countdown challenge thing. If you missed it, I started this August the 1st, and my goal is to lose 100 pounds. I don't have like a set date in mind that I want to do that by, but I need to have neck surgery, and I need to have neck surgery by May of next year. So we'll shoot for that, right? Right. Okay. So I'm going to disappoint some people, but I'm not weighing in. I'm not going to. And we'll talk about it in just a second. So in my last video, I came to you guys with 3 new symptoms: left leg going numb, underactive bladder, and underactive colon. Constipated. And I had a couple of snarky comments, and one of them was like, you know, your life is so boring and mundane that all you can focus on is your health problems. And I would like to say to you that if you wouldn't say that to a cancer patient, don't say it to me. Do you think that I don't already know that my life is boring and mundane and redundant? You think I don't live it every day? Do you think that's a surprise that you're telling me something new? I just want you to remember that other people read your comments. It's not just me. And there are always people in the comments thanking me for sharing my story so they don't feel so alone. So number one, if you wouldn't say it to a cancer patient, don't say it to me. And be mindful that I'm not the only person reading your snarky comment. So yeah. And don't come at me that cancer is more serious than what I have. No, it's not. Some cancers, yes, but not all cancer. But cancer is a chronic illness with chronic pain. And I have the same issues. So, and I watched my grandmother die from pancreatic cancer, so I know how horrible and awful it can be. However, I mean, if you're not going to live by the golden rule, at least live by that one. So, yeah. So anyway, in that video, I came to you guys with 3 new symptoms. And I wasn't asking for like medical advice. I think I even said that in that video. And I also said this is going to be a rambly all over video. And it was a rambly all over video because number one, I don't want any new symptoms. Like, can my body just chill the fuck out? Like, stop it. Stop it. And the other thing was I didn't know who to reach out to. So I Googled, does nerve pain cause constipation? And the first thing that popped up is autonomic neuropathy. And I have several of the symptoms. And I was like, and the number one cause is diabetes. So I was like, okay, great. Seriously, great. So I talked about that in that video, and I mentioned how I had a couple of the symptoms, etc. And I was severely constipated. Like, Robin had counted it so I could talk to my doctor about it yesterday. I'm filming this on Friday. Out of 16 days, I took laxatives on 9 of those days. And I think I had movements like 4 of those days. And again, one day I took 5 laxative pills. And the other day I drank a whole flipping bottle of magnesium citrate. Things weren't moving. So saw my doctor, saw my doctor yesterday. And we talked about it. And he said, this is the Wegovy. And I said, you think so? And several of you mentioned it in the comments. So you win. Thank you very much for sharing. He said, you know, one of the things is it's supposed to, I think he said slow your digestion so you're full longer. Don't quote me on this, okay, guys? Listen, I had to ask Rob the other day how to spell limb. Yes, a tree limb. And then I had to ask how to pronounce it. So that's the brain we're dealing with right now. So he said, you know, it's meant to slow down your stomach and your digestion. And he said it's going to slow down that, but it's going to slow down everything. So it's definitely slowed down again, I'm having constipation, and it's definitely slowed down my bladder. So really the only way to fix these issues would be to go off Wegovy. But I don't want to go back on insulin. I'm not going back on insulin. Not going to do it. So really I am out of kind of an impasse, and I'm just, so when I had to do my prep last year for my colonoscopy, we did the Miralax prep, and it literally said, don't use fake Miralax. And I did. And my doctor said I was a bad pooper. So I've been using the Kirkland brand Miralax this whole entire time. And last weekend I told Rob, I was like, you're going to have to get some real Miralax. I said, I'm going to have to try it. And it worked a little bit. But what really worked was watermelon. So I wanted watermelon the other day and I ate it and I was like, oh, this must be why I'm craving watermelon, because we got things moving. Did things move enough? No. But I don't have to go to the emergency room. I talked to my neurosurgeon and I talked to my GI, and both of them said, if you don't have a movement today, you need to go to the emergency room. And luckily things got moving. Again, it's not as much as it should be, but it moved. And so yay. So we're gonna see how we do. And I'm just gonna have to, I mean, hopefully, because everybody, what does everybody say? Oh, if you lose some weight, you'd put your diet, well, people say cure your diabetes. You can't cure it, you can put it in remission. And it's like, okay, if I get down to 200 pounds and I'm still screwed over with high glucose, I will be very, very mad. So, but yeah, so the Wegovy is the issue. And yeah, we talked about, because I mentioned before that where the nerve issue is like around my rib cage. And I said, what level is this? And he said T10. So I haven't looked at a spinal chart, but I think it's T10, then L1. Anyway, in that area is where I have some kind of nerve compression. And, Jesus, Mary Josephina, it's rough. And it's always been the right leg. So for it to be in the left leg, it's like, okay, what are we doing? And the last time this happened, I had to have back surgery. And you guys are my community. I am trying to create community. I am trying to create a safe place on the internet for people like me who suffer from chronic illness and chronic pain, who may be homebound and don't get to talk to anybody or see anybody. I can't drive. I can't just hop in my car and go see somebody for lunch or whatever. And I hate that. I've hated this the whole entire time. Do you think that I wanted to waste 9 years of education by staying at home and not being able to work? I have a master's degree. I went to school. Oh, I just got myself. We had just gotten to a point where both of us were working, both of us were making good money. We were paying off debt. We had just refinanced this house to a 15-year mortgage, and all of this stopped, came to a screeching halt. We moved to a one income family, and we've been struggling ever since. So this is not a picnic. I miss my friends. I miss going to lunch 2 or 3 times a week. I miss, just being there with each other. But one thing they don't tell you about when you develop chronic illness and pain, and to the point where you can't go out, is that you will lose friends. You will lose friends. You will lose them. Because I can't just go and do. Like, you can't call me in 15 minutes and be like, hey, can you go with me? Okay, where are we going? What's the parking situation? What's the inside situation? If it's a restaurant, do they have tables instead of booths? Because if I'm going to take my rollator, I normally just sit in my rollator at the table. Are you driving? Because I can't drive. Do you have room for my rollator in your car? Like, these are the things that I have to take into consideration. My friends have to take in consideration. It's not like before. My friend Jason and I think there was one morning, it was like 3 o'clock in the morning, and I said, well, will you go with me and get biscuits and gravy? It's like 3 o'clock in the morning. We used to be up all hours of the night. Well, he was up all hours of the night. I fell asleep on his bed a lot. But we would go drive to the lake, or we would go eat, or we would go to Norman, or we would come to Dallas. Like, we were all over the place. And I can't do that anymore. And it's awful. And that kind of comment is not helpful. Seriously, you think I don't know? You think I don't live this life? So the other part of that comment and several other comments is I'm too hyper-focused on my health issues. Number one, this channel is my health journey. Not just losing weight, my health journey. So I talk about what I talk about with my therapist. I talk about what I'm eating, how much I weigh, and I talk about my illnesses, because I learned so much from you guys. You guys, some of you, like, I don't even remember her name. I think it was Natalie. She's the one that told me to reach out to the doctor at the University of Nevada at Reno. I wouldn't have known that on my own. This is my community. This is where I come to share. You don't get to shame me in the comments. You don't. And if you are someone who reads those type of comments and they hurt your feelings, fuck it. Fuck them, fuck that. If you are really at a point where there's nothing that you can do to make your situation better, we have to celebrate little wins, and we have to be able to talk to somebody about the issues that happen. We have to. And that video was about 3 new symptoms, and you can go shame somebody else. I don't give a flying fuck. So anywho, there's enough of that. So anyway, why I focus on my symptoms, and I'm hyper focused on my symptoms, is because of the work I've had to do to get answers. It took me 8 years. 8 years to finally get the diagnosis and the help that I need to make me better. 8 years. And it was 8 years of me getting told, I don't know what it is. I don't know. And me pushing and being like, there is something. You're not going to make me believe that this is all in my head. This is not because I'm fat. This is something. This is something. This is something. And I had to keep pushing and pushing and pushing and pushing and pushing until I was finally the one who did the work and got the answers. And that is why I'm so focused on my health and my symptoms. Because I have to be diligent. I have to be the one that has to ask for blood work or whatever. What else can we do? Can we do a muscle biopsy? Like I have to stay on top of what's going on with my body so I can avoid being gaslit by the healthcare system. So yes, I'm focused on my symptoms. And yes, I talk about my health issues on this channel. I don't know what you want me to say. The whole fucking point of the channel. Okay, moving on. So that's all of that. Because like today I went and saw a new doctor. And I literally had to go through my history and list out everything that is wrong with me and who is, doing each of the prescriptions and how many doctors I actually see. It's 10. It's 10. I see 10 doctors, and that is bullcrap bullshit. I see 10 doctors, 10. And I hate it with the passion of 10,000 men. I don't want to be sick. I don't want neck surgery. I don't want to be, I don't want any of this. But I have it. And it's already tough as shit to get any kind of decent health care when you're a woman, but add a fat woman on top of that, it's damn near impossible. So much so that today, when we finished talking with this doctor, I said, thank you so much. And he said, for what? I said, you didn't bring up weight loss surgery. You didn't try to gaslight me into thinking any of these symptoms were in my head. He's like, no, you obviously have symptoms and diagnoses, etc. He said, no, I wouldn't do that. And even Rob apologized or thanked him because he's seen it. Before, it would be me coming home, I'd have an appointment after work and I'd come home and tell him about it. But since he's been going to these with me, he's so pissed at the neurologist at UT Southwestern. And he's like, yeah, this is not always the case. So I have to fight for myself. My therapist kept saying, you're resilient. I don't want to have to be resilient. I don't want to have to think about every ache and pain. Like right now, I have a pain. Where is it? Right there. Oh my God. Right there. I don't know what the hell it is. I forgot to ask the doctor today to feel it, to see what it is, because it's not like a little ache. It's it feels like it's all the way through the bone, right? So it's I have to keep up with all of this. I have to keep up with all the doctors. I have to keep up with all the medication. I don't have any other choice. And I'm not the only one. And I am lucky that I have a husband. There are many people out there who have no support system. And I want to be able to cheer them on. I want to be able to remind them that you can push until you get an answer. moving on. So the doctor today, number one, he walks in, he's younger than me. He's got high and tight hair. Well, it's not too short on top. He's wearing like a blue gingham long sleeve shirt. He's got the sleeves rolled up. He's got tattoos all over the place. He's wearing pants and his shoes are unlaced. He was styling and profiling. And if I didn't love my regular PCP so much, I would see him on the regular because he was fantastic. I loved him so much. So he's referring me to an endocrinologist and a neurologist. He's also able to source all but like 4 of my meds. So the Spravato, the Symphony Aria, my Tylenol 4, and the one I take for my overactive bladder. Those are the 4 that they don't have, but the rest of them they do, including Ozempic. So he's like, why aren't you on metformin or something? I was like, I've been diabetic now for 20 years. I've taken all those drugs. Number one, they don't help me for nothing. And number 2, it's like, I can't with the metformin, even the extended release metformin. I can remember, I was in my first year of teaching. Oh my gosh, it was my first year of teaching. And I was diagnosed on May 12th, 2006. And you're like, Missy, that's really specific. And yeah, that's the day I graduated with my master's degree. And I was immediately put on metformin. And this was right before the end of the school. And I can remember standing in the hallway talking to a parent, and it hit me. And if you've ever been on metformin, you know what I'm talking about. And I was standing there talking to this woman. I'm sweating profusely. I am trying not to have an accident in the hallway of the school. And finally, I had to go into the little girl's bathroom and go to the bathroom. And it was like, and I have some do I have a picture? I don't remember. So my best friend's gay. Both of my friends are gay. And we went to the Cabana, New Year's Eve one year. And it had to be that year. And I got so sick. I went to Vegas that year and I got so sick. Like I couldn't enjoy anything because I was having to run to the bathroom 24/7. So I was like, I'm not going on metformin. I said, I'm definitely not going back on insulin. I said, I'm not going to do it. I said, I lost 100 pounds, gained it all right back, and I'm really struggling to get it off again. I'm close, real close. Rob said I'm smaller now than when we met. I thought I was smaller then, but I honestly don't remember. So anyway, he was fantastic. So anyway, Ozempic. I said, I hate Wegovy. He's like, well, we don't have Wegovy. He said, we have Ozempic 2.0. And I was like, well, isn't that just a little bit less than Wegovy? And he's like, yeah, do you want to move to Ozempic 2? And I said, yes, please. So that'll be paid for. I don't have to worry about that coming out of insurance. Thank you, Nana. Thank my great-great-grandmother and great-great-grandfather who walked from Mississippi to Oklahoma on the Trail of Tears. And everything that has happened to put me in this life right now. To have this little win. We need a win. Last Friday, our car wouldn't start. Was that Friday? It might have been Thursday or Friday. I don't remember. Rob went to do something and the car wouldn't start. Oh, it was Starbucks. I placed the Starbucks order and he's like, the car won't start. And I was like, okay, so we're just going to lose that Starbucks order. And he's like, no, we're not. I'm going to walk. I should have said no. But sometimes he has to do what he has to do, right? So anyway, he took it to Firestone and they were like, battery's fine, alternator's fine, starter's fine, just drive it somewhere. Because, it only gets driven mainly on the weekends unless we go to a doctor's appointment. So Tuesday of this week, I was supposed to see my pain management doctor and he walks in from the garage. He's like, the car won't start again. I'm like, are you kidding me? So both times we were able to use roadside assistance through our State Farm insurance and it got him a jump. He got back to Firestone and they were like, oh yeah, no, it is the battery. So he said something foam or I don't know what he was talking about. Listen, our battery's in the trunk, which is weird to me already. So we can't do it at like AutoZone or O'Reilly's. They won't do it. They won't help. So they tested the battery again and it was like almost completely dead. So we got a new battery. That was a huge expense. Remember when batteries used to be like $50? I can remember, was I in my Grand Am? I think I had a Grand Am, a Pontiac Grand Am. and I needed a new battery, and I took it out and installed it all by myself. Those were the days. Those were the days. So that's been kind of stressful. And I missed my pain management doctor appointment because with the stuff on the left-hand side, I definitely have to calm that nerve down. And so I'm going to try to ask for a rhizotomy, the end of my thoracic spine and the top of my lumbar spine. We did L3, L4. We've done that 3 or 4 times. I'm done with that. Let's move up a little bit. So I had to put it off till next week, and that makes next week flippin'. I see the new immunologist on Tuesday. Rob took that day off. And then Thursday, I see the hand surgeon. So I haven't been wearing my brace because this has been sort of okay. It has started bothering me. Now, if I'm going to like lift something or carry something that's a little bit heavier, I'll put it back on because, again, I don't want to aggravate it. But I've been able to like just sit here and put on makeup and it not be that huge of a different issue. And I finally was able to get my toes and my nails did. So yeah, it was a really pretty busy week. But both doctors, I love my regular doctor. I won't see him for 6 months. And I told Rob, I was like, I really would like to see him like have lost at least 80 pounds by the time I see him, because right now I'm hovering around the lowest I've been since I've seen him, and I've been seeing him since I think 2012, so long time. And he's just good. But he's like, these are standard height tables. So we get to the Choctaw Clinic, and they have the tables that is a seat, so you sit in it, and then it can become a table, but it's like at seat height. And I'm like, oh, I wish he would get these because he's like, there's a stool. I'm like, I know, but it's still a pain in the butt. And the whole reason why he switched to the other tables was because I was like, don't you have a lot of elderly patients? Why are you making them climb so high on these tables? But anyway, so I'm not weighing in because I will be way up because of these bathroom issues. I'm very swollen today. Don't know why. My hand woke up, or I woke up and my hand, sometimes that happens, sometimes it doesn't. I've had the dropsies on my right hand side, so it's just per usual. Is that it? I think that's it. So I'm not weighing in for September yet. Maybe next weekend. And Rob and I were talking about this today on the way home. I'm like, okay, what am I going to do next week? Because am I going to count calories? Because it's been a month. Like, I've been doing lower carb for a month. So it's like, am I just going to count calories and eat whatever I want? Am I going to count calories and do like the FODMAP diet or food map diet? I don't even know what that is. Or am I going to do keto and count calories? Am I going to do higher protein keto? Am I just going to do carnivore, ketovore? What do I want to do? And he's like, well, what do you think you can stick with the longest? And I said, low carb. I don't know that I'm in a place mentally where I can count macros. I don't think I can do it. And because I said, you know how I am. If I have a number, if I have a goal and I don't reach that goal, then I'm just like, fuck it. Done. And I'm really struggling with that with the scale. So I'm just going to start September without weighing in, and I'm just going to be as strict and serious as I can be safely for my mental health. I don't get to see my therapist until the second week in August. And I wish he had time to see me because there was an issue the other day with my mother, and it has tore me up. For those of you who don't know, TLDR, my brother and I both went no contact with my mother in 2014. And she blocked me on Facebook, or she must have blocked me first because I don't remember blocking her or not blocking her. So, but she's in my memories, my Facebook memories. And there was one the other day, and I noticed that her name, and I could see her profile picture. And normally when someone's blocked, if you're on Facebook, you don't even see their comment. So I clicked on her profile picture, and it's all of these, like, you blocked me because you were angry, but you gave me peace, those kinds of things. And then there are 2 pictures. And one of them, she looked exactly like my grandmother, and you guys know I've already been struggling with that for the last few days. And I just lost it. I was literally crying in the bathroom. And my brother and I talked about this, and I said, it was basically getting serious, and he's texting. He's going to Target. He went bowling. So anyway, it was basically a DV relationship, right? And I was sitting there and I was just so like, it's grief that hit me all over again, because my mother figure died 24 years ago. I would consider my grandmother my mother more than the woman who gave birth to me. And I have to keep reminding myself of all of the shit that she did to me. And I have to keep reminding myself that I don't want somebody who will tell me to my face that they hate me in my life. I don't need that. I put up with it for 35 years. I'm not doing it again. And I don't know, it just hit me that she's old. Like, she's old. And I'm getting old. And Bo's getting old. And I've gone 24 years basically without a maternal figure in my life. And that's hard, you know? And Bo and I are basically the only family that we have left that actually is in contact more than, you know, once a year or whatever. And so it strengthened our relationship because she had us pitted against each other since we were kids. And he made a couple of statements like, he's like, yeah, if Nana wasn't around, she probably would have gotten rid of you. And I said, oh, you didn't know she kept telling me she was going to give me up for adoption, or how she should have aborted me. And he was like, no. I said, there was a couple, and anytime we saw them in Walmart, she'd be like, yeah, I almost gave you up for adoption to them. They wanted to adopt you. Even at like 8, 9, 10 years old. So there's a lot of emotional baggage. There's a lot of wounds. There's a lot of, I can't go back from that. Like, I can forgive, but I cannot forget. And I that's allowed. I'm allowed to protect myself and protect my peace and protect my little family of 4, me, Rob, Boone, and Bo, and just, you know, just keep status quo, right? But the issue now is that I told my last therapist, I was like, I feel like that's dead and gone. It's buried. I've moved past it. I'm good. And that's like, okay, clearly we're going to reopen this. Clearly this is going to be an issue again, because I am on the struggle bus with it. So I went ahead and blocked her. It's been hard. Like, it's been a really emotional week. And just to add everything else on top of it, it's been a lot. So I have no idea what next week is going to bring. Rob wants to try intermittent fasting. He wants to have lunch and that's it. And I said, we're going to have to add more calories. You're going to have to eat more calories, because he literally has the same thing for lunch every day. He has some salad. He buys like a 16 ounce. Is it the 16 ounce? I don't know. He buys a big bulk weed mix. He has that, a little bit of chicken, some bacon, cheese, dressing, and then an apple. And I said, baby, that's not enough calories for you to only have that 1 meal a day. I said, we need to add to it. I said, I can make a roast and you can have some meat with it. I said, there's leftover spaghetti sauce. We can make you some spaghetti and that could be like a side salad. I said, but if you're really going to do this, I said, you cannot survive on 500-600 calories alone. So he's going to go grocery shopping on Sunday since he's off through Tuesday. And I'm like, we need to sit down and figure out, like, if this is what you really want to do. And because I can try to move my eating window too. And actually, I don't even really have an eating window. I'm trying to eat intuitively. But, you know, just making sure that he gets enough calories for the day and see if he wants to do it. I mean, if he wants to do it, I'm going to support him doing it. I'm the cook, though. So it's like, okay, what do we like? What's the plan? And I'm like, we've got smoked chicken in the freezer. We've got burger patties in the freezer that are already cooked. He's got salmon. There's a couple other things. Oh, he bought calzones at Aldi last week. They had them on sale or whatever, and he liked those. So it's like, okay, we can make it work. And then I can still do what I want. And right now, what I've been craving is low carb love. I don't know her first name. Her cheesy garlic bread. Basically, it's a tortilla with garlic butter, then you cover it with cheese, then you add another tortilla on top. That's basically the same thing. garlic butter covered with cheese. And then you make it in the air fryer. And it's so good. So I've been cutting up pepperoni and putting pepperoni in it and kind of making like, and no sauce, like a pepperoni pull apart bread or something. And it's been so good. And I have been on that kick. So I may continue to be on that kick. I don't know. But yeah, so that's it. So the plan for September is to fly by the seat of our pants. Like I don't think I want to count. I really don't think I want to count. I don't want to count. I really want to be down 100 pounds by March though, and that's 16 pounds a month. We'll see what happens. If I can get everything moved out for the most part, then I will be happy to step on the scale. But until we do that and I'm not so swollen, then I'm swollen because the barometric, whatever it's called. We've actually been in a storm pattern. We had storms yesterday. It rained here really hard for a good 15, 20 minutes. And we're expecting spotty showers. The humidity is high. And so my body is just like, swell, 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 swell. We are going to swell. And it did. So yeah, a stressful week for the most part. But we're ending on a high note. And I'm okay. I'm okay with that. I have to wait to hear back from the endocrinologist and the neurologist. Hopefully I can see them this fall. Hopefully it's not a whole long time. But I don't have to see him until a year. And if he continues to subscribe the Ozempic, I don't have to worry about going to the endocrinologist here. I forgot to ask if they do a Dexcom. I need to reach out for that. Okay, so anyway, that's it. Thank you so much for joining me today. I really do appreciate you. I've said this before, and I may just end up saying it every single video. I don't know you, but I love you. I'm glad you're here. One step at a time. Celebrate the small successes. That was the other thing I was going to do. I need to sit down and do a daily routine kind of thing. And maybe I'll walk you through that if you guys want to see that. So, but yeah, just breathe, take a breath, do what you can do, set realistic expectations for yourself, and know that you're not alone. And you can leave a comment, and if you're so inclined to have, if you see someone's comment and you feel like they're struggling, feel free to say hi to them, or whatever. I'll announce the Facebook group and the memberships next week. I need to do that this weekend too. But yeah, so just waking up and brushing your hair is a win. Waking up and brushing your hair and brushing your teeth is a win. Waking up and showering and brushing your teeth and brushing your hair is a win. Every little step that you do during the day is a win. And remember, when you go to the doctor, you are in charge. They may be the expert, but you're in charge. You're the customer. Don't go all Karen on them, but make sure that you're being heard and ask questions and ask reasoning. I'll see you soon. Bye for now.